Most founders think they have a leadership problem when they can't scale, but the real reason is they never decided which decisions should actually reach them in the first place. Here's what's actually happening. The average founder at $1.3 million mark is processing somewhere between 40 and 70 decisions every single day, from pricing a deal to which Slack messages deserve a response. And they're treating all of them with the same weight, the same attention, the same cognitive load. And if you're just at that stage, it just isn't exhausting. It's quietly preventing the people around you from developing the judgment your business needs to grow past you. If you keep being the decision point for everything, you're going to hit a ceiling that has nothing to do with your market or your product or your team. You'll hit yourself, and the business will stop whatever size you can personally manage. I'm Camper, and I've spent 20 years helping companies scale. And the single most consistent bottleneck I found in founders at the $1 to $5 million mark isn't funding, isn't even marketing, and it isn't talent. It's a decision architecture. I was brought in to work with a founder. She was running a $2.3 million consulting firm, a team of 8, and she was completely underwater. Not from lack of effort. The woman worked 24 hours a day, sometimes literally. The problem was that every decision in the business ended up on her desk. Every proposal, every hire, every client, every complaint, every vendor invoice, everything landed there because she thought it was important for her to make all the decisions. She already tried the obvious fixes. She hired better people. She'd written process docs. She'd done delegation training. None of it stuck. And here's what she missed. She delegated tasks. She never delegated authority. Her team was fully capable, good people, well dedicated, but no one had been formally given the right to make a call without her. In fact, they were encouraged not to. So every time someone came up, the safe move was to ask the boss, and the boss answered every time because she thought that that was what good leaders do. The turning point was when we built a decision inventory together. We listed every recurring decision hitting her desk in a given week and categorized them by stakes and reversibility. In the first hour, she identified 23 decisions that her team was fully equipped to make without her. Decisions she'd been fielding for years out of habit, not necessity. Within 60 days of building this proper decision-making framework, she cut her daily decision load in half. Her team became visibly more confident, and she had real time, for the first time in many, many years, to work on the business instead of in it. That's why building a decision framework isn't about working less. It's about working on the right things. And here are 3 pieces that make it real. If you want to know why your business can't grow without you, count your decisions first. For 3 business days, log every decision you make, every single one, from the responding to the client email to approving a design file to choosing who handles the new project. Don't filter as you go, just log. Then categorize each one of these 2 on an axis. First axis, reversible versus irreversible. Can you undo it if it's wrong? Second axis, high stakes versus low stakes. Does a wrong answer here have real cost, financially, rationally, strategically, personally? That gives you 4 buckets. Reversible and low stakes. This is the majority of founders' daily decisions. Delegate these now, or create a standing rule so they never reach your desk. Reversible and high stakes? Delegate these with clear owners that are defined in a review loop. They don't need you to make them, but you should know about the outcomes. Reversible low stakes, these need decision rules, not your personal attention. Create documentation around this. Irreversible high stakes. These are yours. Protect time for them. Make them in your best cognitive state. These are the only decisions that truly require you. Most founders who do this exercise find between 60 and 70% of their daily decisions fall into the first bucket. That's not a management problem. That's a classification problem, and it's fixable right now. You can't delegate what you haven't defined, and you can't define what you haven't counted. Action 2 is where most delegation attempts actually fail, and the fix is simpler than you can think. Here's one thing. The reason delegation breaks down isn't that your team can't handle responsibility. It's that you gave them the responsibility without giving them the authority. These two are different things, and without both, your team will default to you every single time. Not because they're weak or bad or misplaced, but because that's the rational move when authority is unclear. The fix is a decision rights matrix, or a decision matrix. For every major recurring decision in your business, document 4 things. 1, who owns it? The person who has default authority to make that call without asking. 2, who must be consulted before decisions is made, if anyone, sometimes no one. 3, who must be informed after that decision is made. And finally, what conditions, if any, escalate to you. This decision matrix is a classic project management matrix, and it gives you the ability to really be comfortable where it is and everyone's clear about what's going on. A decision with no named owner is not a decision waiting to be made. It's a problem waiting to become yours. Here's the part people miss. The matrix is only as useful as its exception clause. You need to define explicitly under what dollar amounts or risk threshold your decision stays with the owner versus when it escalates. Without that, you get either over-escalation, too many decisions on your plate, and everything comes back to you, or under-escalation, where people are making calls they shouldn't without looping you in. I had a client build this matrix in a single afternoon. 2 weeks later, he told me his team had made more decisions in those 2 weeks than in the previous quarter combined. And guess what? The quality, it was better, because the owners actually had to think through instead of just kicking it upstairs. Unclear authority doesn't create caution, it creates paralysis. Give your team the right to decide, or you'll be the one paying for the inability to. Here's what no founder talks about. The decisions you keep, the ones that are genuinely yours, are also the ones you're most likely to make badly. Because by the time they reach you, you've already made 47,000 other decisions that day. You're tired, your inbox is full, someone is waiting on you, and it's exactly that environment in which your best judgment performs worse. The most expensive mistakes I've seen founders make weren't made on bad information, they were made in bad conditions. The information was fine, the decision maker was depleted. So here's the practice. Design the exact conditions under which you make high-stakes decisions. And here are 3 components. First, time of day. Identify when you're cognitively sharpest. Most people, it's first 2 or 3 hours in the working day. That's B. Block that time for decisions and strategic thinking. Let everything else happen around it. That's when I do my creative work. Jeff Bezos made this his formal policy at Amazon. No major decisions after lunch. That's not a quirk. That's decision architecture. Secondly, required inputs. For every category of high-stakes decisions, define in advance what information you actually need before you can make a good call. Most founders make decisions reactively. Someone presents a situation and they respond. Design a simple 1-page template for each decision type. What do I need to see? What questions do I need to answer? This forces the person presenting the decision to do the preparation. And third, before you commit to any significant decision, run it through 3 questions. What happens if I'm wrong? How quickly will I find out if I'm wrong? And how reversible is it if I am? This isn't about being indecisive. It's about making sure irreversible decisions get the weight they deserve and reversible ones get more than they need. I've watched founders spend 3 weeks agonizing over a $3,000 marketing spend, fully reversible and fast feedback, and then approve a $50,000 hire in 20-minute call. The ritual fixes asymmetry. The quality of your decisions isn't determined by how smart you are, it's determined by the conditions under which you make them. I've put together a decision framework toolkit. This decision inventory worksheet and the decision rights metric template and the personal decision ritual 1-pager are all ready to fill out and use immediately. It's in the descriptions and pinned in the comments. Most founders get it done in 90 minutes working session, and the shift in how their business run starts at the same week. So here's the format. Build your decision inventory. Log 3 days of decisions, sort them by stakes and reversibility. You'll find most of them don't belong on your desk. 2, build your decision rights matrix. Give every recurring decision a named owner and a clear escalation threshold so it stops defaulting back to you. 3, design your personal decision ritual. Protect conditions under which you make these calls that actually require you. Do these 3 things, and within 30 days, your business will be able to make faster, better decisions, and you'll finally have the bandwidth to work on the problems only you can solve. Right now, do you have a formal system to which decisions reach your desk, or is it still ad hoc? Drop A for system or B for ad hoc in the comments. I read every one. And when you're done, watch my video on why AI is actually good news for your business, because it explains exactly why the decisions you're protecting are worth more than ever, and how to use AI to make them faster without sacrificing the judgment behind them. Click on the video on the screen, and I'll see you there. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.